Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel, the #1 YouTube channel to level up your communication skills. This channel has helped engineers, entrepreneurs, doctors, and many more other professions level up their public speaking, their creative writing, their storytelling skills, so they can express themselves with more confidence and swag. If those topics interest you, be sure to hit that subscribe button along with that bell notification so you never miss another video again. This episode is going to regard how to reduce social anxiety through listening skills. In this episode, you're going to learn how social anxiety is born through an oxymoron. You're going to understand the difference between hearing and listening. And finally, you're going to be given a listening framework that allows you to listen like a winner, not like a chump, not like the masses, but like a winner. You're going to unlock the 4th dimensional listening skills. So we're going to be covering a lot of innovative topics in this video. If you're ready, excited, and ready to learn, be sure to drop that like for me right on below. All right, Armani, you were saying something about social anxiety being born through an oxymoron? That's correct. Anytime you feel social anxiety, if you trace it back with some logic, you'll realize that it's born through an oxymoron. An oxymoron is defined as a contradiction. So where's the contradiction? Well, when you face social anxiety, at one moment, you're assigning yourself a low social value. You're extremely worried about what others are going to think of you. But out of the blue moon, you also assign yourself a high social value. You feel as though as soon as you walk into this event, everyone is going to stop what they're doing. They're going to stop talking in group conversations, stop interacting in other activities, and all eyes are going to be on you. Why would that happen? Are you some kind of celebrity? Do you have wings? Can you fly? Why would that exactly happen? You're assigning yourself high social value, low social value. And in between that, there's this contradiction that's forming. The stronger the contradiction is, the worse the social anxiety gets. Our goal is to reduce that. And we reduce that by focusing less on ourselves and focusing more on the other person or other groups of people that we're interacting with. But we're not doing that. Why? We're not doing that because we're not listening. Wait, Armani, you're telling me that I could reduce social anxiety just by listening? Well, I listen all the time. You don't listen, you hear. And confusing hearing as listening is one of the main reasons that you have social anxiety. Hearing is physical, while listening is mental. So let's break down both. Hearing, any idiot could do. You don't really even have to do anything. You just need to show up and you have no choice in the matter. If your ears are functioning, then it's going to get auditory waves, take it in, absorb it, and convert it into electrical signals for your brain to interpret it. Most people stop right there. This whole process was physical. It's all about ears and brain converting and talking back and forth. But the electrical signals, the interpretation of those electrical signals, that's a subjective experience which requires your mind. It requires work. That's why the average person, they stop at this part. They're hearing, but they're not listening. Listening requires concentration, it requires curiosity, and it requires the ability to interpret data, to take the data and turn it into meaningful messages, aka information. So most people are not listening. Armani, can anyone learn how to listen? Is listening a skill set? Yes, it is. It's a skill set, meaning that it can be learned, practiced, and mastered. But one of the biggest problems regarding treating it like a skill set is that we're falling for a trap. What's a trap? I want you to right now close your eyes. Go on, close it. I don't bite. And as you close your eyes, what I want you to do at this moment is picture listening. Whatever that word means to you, I want you to picture a concrete image of it. And take some time. Do you have an image? You can open your eyes. What was that image? I don't know you. I have no clue where you're watching this video from. But I'm 95% sure I know one element of the image that you created for the word listening. Did it involve ears? Yeah, bro, it did. How'd you know? That's a trap. For most of us, whenever we're picturing listening, we picture ears automatically. We feel as though that the only way that we can possibly listen is through the ears. And that right there is a big mistake. When I was in Toastmasters, one of the most profound lessons that I learned was right before I was about to get on stage, the goal was to listen. But not just listen with the ears, but listen with the eyes, listen with the palms. Get as many of your senses involved as possible. So how would that work in a real world context? Well, as the speaker, aka the host, was introducing me and I was about to take on stage, I would just hear all the noise that was being presented to me. I would observe the audience. I would notice their little micro movements. Someone was on their phone, someone was playing with their pencil. I would notice this with my eyes. I would touch the table. I would feel the bottom of my feet. I was getting my senses activated as well. And that right there is true listening. That right there is the way that we should be listening. Getting as many of your senses involved as possible. And just like magic, what I noticed was when I would do this way of listening, my speech anxiety would reduce tremendously. And likewise, in the world of social skills, if we would listen with as many of our senses as possible, then our social anxiety would plummet by a huge margin. The reason that this tactic works so well is mainly because when we are getting our senses involved with intention right behind it, it's hard for us to just focus on ourselves. And when we're stopping to focus right on ourselves, the contradiction reduces more and more and more, and we become back in harmony. We become congruent. So from here on out, if you're gonna get anything out of this video, the main thing that you want to get out is that you have 5 senses. You have seeing, smelling, tasting, hearing, and touching. Obviously, you're not gonna engage all of the senses when you're listening in a conversation, but you can engage more than you thought, more than the ears alone. You could also engage the eyes. You could also engage the smell of the situation that you're in, and you can also engage touch, like as you touch your arm, as you touch the bottom of your feet. You can engage the touch. But in this context, this 4D listening format, what we're doing is we're shifting our paradigm regarding listening. While the average person, they're just listening with their ears, you're doing it a little bit differently. But being different is a powerful skill set in the world of social skills. This is what allows you to be present and in the moment. This allows you to pick up more data. Your ears can just pick up so much data, but when you create a synergy between your ears, your eyes, all these other senses, that's when you become a monster in the charismatic presence that you can unlock. So all in all, social anxiety is born through an oxymoron, which is unfortunate. But the beauty is that we can always reduce this oxymoron, and we do that by listening. Not just hearing, but listening, by taking some intention to convert the data that we're being presented to a meaningful message. And we're no longer just listening with our ears alone, we're listening with as many senses as we could possibly engage in this context. And from that, it feels as though that social anxiety is now working for us. It's no longer social anxiety, it's social excitement. We embrace the nerves because we realize that the nerves were Red Bull all along. It was simply meant to give us energy, not cripple us, to give us energy. That energy is the driving force behind the charismatic presence. If today's video helped you and you learned a thing or two, be sure to drop that like for me right on below, and you share this video on your social media of choice. Thank you for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel, and I'll catch you on the next episode.